Well, hello friends, and welcome to another Ask ZAC. Hope you're doing well. Today we're going to answer the question of, is it safe to use chorus again? Is it cool to use chorus? And maybe answer the question isn't the exact right phrase. I really want to have a discussion about what y'all think. Because this is something that I've kind of been doing battle with for a while because of the past and the usage, of course. So first, while you're thinking about it, if you hadn't subscribed already, go down to the corner, hit the button. And if you've been watching the show, I'd love it if you would go to askzac.com and support the show by going to the store and picking up a mug or a t-shirt. Thanks. Okay, chorus. First off, what is chorus? Well, it takes your signal and splits it into two. Well, kind of, yeah. And one side stays dry, and the other side gets modulated, and then it mixes it back together. And then, of course, the speed and the depth controls are controlling how much it gets, modulated and how fast that is. Now, the difference between that and like a vibrato pedal would be that there's no dry signal. So in vibrato, it's just going in and getting modulated, okay? So what makes it chorus is the fact that you have dry signal and you have modulated signal together. Okay, so what happened with chorus? Well, chorus got really heavily overused, of course, in the 80s and 90s. It, it was used on everything. It was on vocals, it was on drums, it was on guitars. And even as a child of the 80s and getting my first chorus pedal, I would play clean with the chorus pedal on. And then when I wanted to do a drive sound, I would turn the chorus pedal off. But following the, guitar tones of the 80s, which of course, in later years, I was able to really, decipher this more. Chorus was on all the time, even with distortion and drive. I mean, it was on all the time. So I'm talking about hard rock guys, Lukather, Landau. I mean, everyone was using chorus with drive and, dirty amps. There's one of the great, kind of treasures of the guitar world is a gentleman named James Santiago. And he's, worked for Line 6 and for Voodoo Lab, and he's working with Universal Audio and helped develop the aux. And years ago, he did a video showing how the early Van Halen sound was so dependent on using the phaser along with the drive, and then how the later sound was having chorus on most of the time. So even with like Eddie Van Halen, chorus was it was ever present. So what happened is like tremolo in the 50s and 60s and like wah-wah pedals and phasers in the 70s, chorus was so overused in the 80s and 90s that everyone got sick of it and got to where they took their chorus pedals off and wouldn't touch them. It just became a joke. If you turned a chorus pedal on. I remember, taking a chorus pedal to a session, back in around 2000, and the engineer and the producer were just like, dude, don't, pull that off your board. Don't use that. And they just started laughing. It's like, that's been there, done that. So I guess my question is, it's been almost 20 years since, the epidemic, and it feels like the chorus pedal has been quarantined for the last, almost 20 years. And, is it time that, can we release the hounds? Can we start using chorus again and it not just sound like a throwback? So anyway, so that's our discussion. And I hope you will comment, below about, what you think about chorus's validity in the modern age, or is it just something to replicate older sounds? All right, so chorus. I tend to lump chorus pedals into one of two categories. One is transparent, or kind of clean, pristine chorus, which I know that's kind of a transparent is especially a strange term to use when you're talking about chorus, but that's what I think of when I think of the TC chorus. And that's actually what I'm using today. So I have an original early 1980s all black TC chorus. And funnily enough, I wasn't using it very much, but another reason I wasn't using it was because of the power supply. It had a hardwired AC cable. Well, in learning about the circuitry, I found that internally, it quickly turns the AC into, around 20 volts or 18 volts DC, and that's what it uses in the circuit, actually. So I took it to my buddies at Exactone Solutions, Greg and Barry, and they modded mine to where, they removed the AC cable and it just has a 18 volt DC jack on there. And so now, it's very easy for me to use. I can just, set one of the outputs on my little CS6 one-spot power supply to 18 volts, and I can use it when I want to. And while we're at it, I'll just tell you, the rest of the stuff that's on my board today, because this is not my usual board. So I'm using the Mirage compressor like I normally use. I have a Karma copy of a Mostortion. I have a Arion SCH1 that I haven't turned on yet. And then I have an old Boss DD2, which is on. And then, of course, the old black TC chorus. So back to my, lumping into two categories. So, of course, to me, the TC is in the more transparent. And the other ones I'd put there that I like would be the Boss DC3. That's the digital dimension. It's kind of a pink pedal. There's also the DC2, which is the push button analog one. I would put that one also in the transparent category, but it's definitely warmer sounding. And but the DC3 has a mix knob on it, and that really gives it a lot of versatility. And that sound was used a lot. I don't have one of those pedals, but I'm going to put it on the back two pickups. Brent Mason really used the DC3 a fair amount, or at least it sounds like he did. So you have, like on Alan Jackson's Gone Country, I think it was his telly, but he was mixing in a fair amount of middle pickup, and then he was using the DC3, which I'm using the TC today, but to get this kind of sound, that and yeah. So then, of course, you have the Boss DC2, which, of course, is a Wazacraft version now. And that is a little bit warmer sounding because it's analog, and it's a little fatter sounding. Then the other category of chorus pedals, to me, is the fat and chewy, which they tend to boost a lot of bass, and they really are a huge thickener. So to me, that would be, the Boss CE1, Boss CE2, and the Arion SCH1. And a lot of the chorus pedals tend to be in that category. And again, they tend to have some type of gain boost to them when you turn them on. They tend to get a little louder. They tend to have more bass to them, and they tend to have a lot more of that, kind of chewy thing. So underfoot, I've got the TC chorus that I've been using, and that's what I used at the beginning of the show, playing a little bit of that, Crowded House, Don't Dream It's Over, which I'm guessing Tim Pierce played that. Yeah, so why don't we compare the sounds of the the more chewy chorus and the transparent, so you can just kind of hear that. So this is the TC. Put on the middle pickup. use the Arion. Now, the reason why I still have the Arion is because of that, you know, the almost tremolo kind of thing that has going on. You know, that great, you know, modulation speed where, you know, it replicates, you know, more of a Leslie type effect. And you can set it lower to get, you know, less of that. But man, I love it. That's one of the best things about it. And it mixes well with drive. So I'm going to turn the old Karma Mostortion copy on, and that's a great sound. And, you know, of course, that's kind of in the vein of the way, you know, Mike Landau and others have used it. But, yeah, it's a great chewy chorus. I'm going to turn the rate down a little bit. So again, you get, you know, more of that. And you can hear when I turn it off and on that it's boosting the gain. While if you hit the TC, it doesn't do that. So those are kind of, you know, the two, you know, kind of types of chorus that I like, and then the way I kind of categorize them, yeah, and either into the transparent or the thick and fat and chewy kind of category. So, yeah. So I don't tend to like the CE2 kind of sound as much anymore, because to me it's so typical of that 80s, 90s thing. I tend to like either the transparent thing, or I want the Arion thing where it's got more interest, you know, to it. It's got that you know, kind of tremolo thing going on where you know, it's got a lot of cool character to it. So, well, you know, in the comments below, tell me what you think. You know, tell me, you know, is it safe, you know, to start using chorus again? You know, is it you know, or is it still just passe, and anytime you turn on a chorus pedal, it, you know, it sounds like the 80s and 90s. So, yeah, tell me what you think. And tell me what choruses that you like. And yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.